Hi everyone, my name is Véronique and I am a first year medical student at the University of Ottawa. I'm super happy to be here with you guys tonight, and I'll be talking about mindfulness. So I'll start by explaining what mindfulness is, talk a bit about its many benefits and different techniques to practice it. So we'll finish off by taking about 2 minutes to practice mindfulness and these new techniques. So before we get started, I encourage you to get comfortable, find a yoga mat, or just a seat in your favorite room in your house as long as you're relaxed. Also, during the live, if you guys want to add any comments or questions, I'll be happy to answer. So what is mindfulness? It's a type of meditation where you focus on being intensely aware of what you're sensing and feeling in the moment without interpretation or judgment. So initially, mindfulness can seem pretty simple to practice, but as you'll get to experience at the end of the slide, it can be quite challenging at first, and that's completely normal. When we take a few minutes to be mindful every day, we're teaching our brain to shift the way it usually thinks. And just like it takes time and training to master any sport, it takes practice to become mindful. So before we go any further, I just wanted to share one of the very first things that I learned during my own mindfulness journey. When you're practicing and learning to be mindful, it's super okay to have unwelcome thoughts pop into your head, and you shouldn't feel discouraged. Because as parents, you're all very busy people with many responsibilities, and these thoughts are bound to pop up at some point during your session. So when this happens, however, what you want to try to work on is to picture your mind as a highway. So there's a highway and you're standing on the side and you're watching the cars going in and out of your field of vision. So this is the way you want to picture your thoughts. You want to picture them as the car. So when one pops up, you want to acknowledge it, accept it, but instead of holding on to it, which can often lead to stress and anxiety, you want to let it go out of sight like the cars on the highway. So this can seem kind of silly at the moment, but when we're going to do a session at the end, really try to keep this in mind and don't be too hard on yourself as you're starting to practice mindfulness, because it does take time to master the skill. Also, I wanted to kind of talk about the different ways mindfulness can look like. So it changes a lot from one person to another. You can practice it while sitting down, lying down, walking, doing yoga, or it can even be a few minutes that you add to your morning routine. So for myself, I found that incorporating it to my yoga routine or my morning walks really made it easier for me because I could focus on the movement of my body, and it really allowed me to stay in the present moment, and it kind of gave me something to focus on. So if you're also someone who finds it hard to sit down and not do anything, try doing it as you're moving at first, because it does make it more simple. So if anyone has questions or comments, I'm just gonna take a look. Oh, hi Natalie, thank you. So I'll now be talking about the benefits of mindfulness. So as many of us know, being mindful helps to reduce stress, enhance performance, gain awareness through observing our own mind, and it increases our attention to others' well-being. But what I wanted to talk about was how it accomplishes those things. So first, as we begin to practice meditation, we become more aware of our thoughts, and by doing so, we're also learning to recognize that there's sometimes an exaggeration of reality, and they can even be self-destructive. Being mindful also allows you to focus better, so this will allow you to work more efficiently and be more productive, which will then give you a greater sense of well-being. So while we're now just starting to learn to practice mindfulness with some tricks and techniques, the long-term goal is to be able to apply this state of mind to our everyday life in order to be truly present in the moment when we're at work, out with friends, or spending time with our family. So now I will start to demonstrate a few techniques to practice mindfulness. You can also use these techniques at any point throughout the day when you're feeling stressed, anxious, angry, or not able to fall asleep, because you really don't need anything other than yourself to practice them. So the first technique I want to share is a breathing one. So it's called box breathing. It really requires that you bring your full attention to your breath and therefore allows you to be in the present. It also sends a message to your brain telling it to calm down and relax, and then your brain sends back a message to your body. So I kind of printed a picture for this one because it really helps to picture the box while you're doing it. So you start by breathing in 4 seconds, then holding for 4 seconds, then breathing out for 4 seconds, and then holding for 4 seconds again. And then you start over. So get comfortable and we'll do a few sessions, cycles together. I'll count for the first 2 and then I'll do one with you. So breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. So try to picture the way you felt before and after that technique and kind of see if this one works for you, but I'm going to show you many more. So the second technique is called the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique. And this one is very simple, so it's a great one for your kids also. If they're quite kind of impulsive or have anxiety, this one really works great with kids. So it helps you become more aware of your surrounding and shifts your attention from stress factors to your environment. So again, you begin by trying to slow down your breathing. And then once that's achieved, you try to point out 5 things that you can see, followed by 4 things that you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and finally 1 positive trait about yourself. So it's really simple, but it's also very effective because it helps you become aware of your environment and things that are actually happening around you and not be stuck in your head. So it's really great. The third one is the body scan meditation. So to do this one, if you're able to be lying down, it's even better, but if that's not an option, you can always do it while sitting. So you begin by slowing down your breath once again, and then you really want to try to breathe from your belly. So you feel it expanding as you're breathing in, and then deflating as you're breathing out. So once you're comfortable, you start to bring awareness to every part of your body, one by one in a systemic manner. So you can either start from the top or from the bottom. I'll give an example starting from the bottom. So you would start to breathe slowly and then bring awareness to your feet and your toes. So you try to notice if there's any pain or tension in them, and you can also wiggle them, move them, do whatever makes you feel good. Then once you're done with your feet, you will move on to your calves, to your thighs, your spine, shoulders, arms, hands, neck, and head. So bringing awareness to your body really helps ground yourself, and it's one of the easiest way to calm down when you're feeling anxious. So finally, I would like to present to you one of my favorite apps, Headspace. So I'll write it down in the chat after. But this app offers guided mindfulness meditation session as well as intro classes to some of the techniques that I quickly went over today. There's also some guided storytelling sessions to fall asleep at night and little morning audios to start your day on the right foot. So another really cool feature about this app is that you can take any classes and put the duration you want for it. So if you're in a rush, you can shorten it to 5 minutes, or if you want to fall asleep to it, you can listen to it for 15. So I'll show you, and we'll practice meditation right now. And if you want, you can try to apply those breathing techniques or the body scan while you're listening to the class. So this class is session 1 of basics, and it's a 4-minute class. So we'll do it together. Try to be aware of how you're feeling right now and the way you're feeling after. And if anyone wants to share in the comments like what their experience was, feel welcome to. So here we go.
Hi. Over the next 10 sessions, I'm going to show you a really simple way of getting some more headspace in your life. Don't worry if you've never done anything like this before. This is a really straightforward technique, and I'm going to talk you through every step of the way. But all you need to do right now is to sit back and relax. So make sure that you're sitting comfortably. I'd actually like you to begin with your eyes open and just taking a big deep breath, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. As you breathe in, just feeling the lungs expand as they fill with air. And as you breathe out, just feeling the body soften a little bit as you gently close the eyes. And you can just allow the breath to return to its natural rhythm, in and out of the nose. And as you pause for a moment, just noticing the feeling of the body, the weight of the body pressing down against the seat beneath you. Contact of the feet on the floor, the hands and the arms on the legs. Noticing any sounds around you. And as you pause, just noticing how the body feels. Starting to notice how the body's breathing, that movement of breath in the body. So some people feel it in the stomach. For others it's in the chest or in the diaphragm. Not breathing in any special way. We're just starting to notice that rising and falling sensation. If you can't feel anything, just gently placing your hand on the stomach. Now, as you follow that movement, the mind will wander away, almost inevitably. No problem if it does, perfectly natural. But as soon as you realize it's wandered, just acknowledging that, letting it go, and just coming back again to that rising and falling sensation. And then just for a moment now, letting go of any focus on on the breath, just letting the mind do whatever it wants, just for a few seconds. If it wants to think, let it think. And then bringing the attention back to the body, back to that feeling of contact, back to any sounds around you. And you can just gently open your eyes in your own time. So how does it feel having taken a few minutes out of the day? Does the body feel any different? Does the mind feel any different? Don't worry if there's still lots of thoughts running around. That's perfectly normal. Remember, this is a skill we're learning, and it takes a little bit of time. But before you do jump up, before you get on with things, just take a few moments just to appreciate that feeling, to really acknowledge what it's like to take some time out, to allow the body and the mind to unwind. And I look forward to seeing you back here soon for session 2.
So this was an example of the first class of the Headspace app. So it's really for beginners. You can choose which speaker you want to listen to. So there's guys, there's girls, they have different intonations. So it's really nice. And I think I'm on like basics 3, so you can see your progression as you're growing. You see how easier, how more natural it becomes to practice mindfulness. So it's a very great app, and I saw that Natalie asked if it was good for kids, and I think so. There's also, when you're doing it on your phone or your iPad, there's images and little characters moving around, which can be helpful for kids to focus their attention on, so it's a really great app for kids too. And also the stories at night, they're not too complicated, so they could follow for sure. So that was everything for me. I really hope this was useful and that you'll feel more ready about taking on this challenge and practicing mindfulness a few minutes every day. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them right now. Or if you can't think of anything or are watching this video later, you can still comment on the post, and I'll be happy to, I will be checking it like daily, so I'll be happy to answer. I will also put my name for my own Facebook page on the comments, so if you want to direct message me with some questions after you try some techniques, feel free to. So have a good night, everyone. It was nice to meet you all.